Okay, let's get started with geometry. In the first lesson in the first chapter, 1.1, this is going to be a little bit longer video than you will ever have in the future, simply because there is some vocabulary that we will use daily, and we need to go ahead and learn it and get it out of the way so that we can go on and learn a lot of stuff. It's not hard, so let's just get rolling with it. Okay, a point. A point is exactly what it says. It's just a point, and a point will be named by a capital letter. So if we put A by this, that is point A. Okay, a line, again, exactly what it says. But in geometry, we have to be a little more specific. We must have two arrows on the end of it for it to be a line, and it must contain at least 2 points. So we will call this one A and B. Okay, so we could denote this line, we could call it line AB. And when you denote it, it must have a little line with 2 arrows over it. It's also the same thing as saying line BA. Okay, it can also be named with a lowercase letter. So if it has a lowercase letter on it, this could also be called line L. So a line goes out infinitely in opposite directions. It must have 2 arrows on it to show that. A plane is just that. You can think of it as any flat surface that goes out infinitely. And a plane must contain at least 3 non-collinear points. We will talk about what non-collinear means in just a second. Okay, non-collinear points, points that are not in a line. Okay, it can be named by, we could call this plane ABC, BCA, BAC, as long as you name it with 3 capital letters, or if we just said this would be plane M, okay, another capital letter. Okay, collinear points. Okay, a lot of geometry is just vocabulary. Okay, the base word of collinear is line. Okay, so if we're going to talk about collinear points, we're talking about points that are all on the same line, collinear. So we could say that A, B, C, D, they're all collinear. Any point on the same line would be collinear. Base word is line. Okay, so then coplanar points, okay, if you have a plane, coplanar points then would mean points that are all on the same plane. A, B, C, D, E, all of those points are coplanar because they are on the same plane, coplanar points. Okay, we talked about lines on that first page. Now we're going to talk about a line segment. So if you have a line that looks like this and we want to speak just about a segment of it, okay, this is AB. We would be talking specifically from this point from A to B, right here, that's it. And so that is denoted as AB. It can also be denoted as BA, like this. Okay, it may also look just specifically like this. Okay, if it's a picture of it. But a line segment has a definite beginning spot and a definite ending spot. When you are denoting it, you have to put the line above it with no arrows, because if you don't, it's talking about the length of it. So a line segment must be denoted with that bar above it, just like this. Array has a definite beginning point, and it goes infinitely in one direction. So we have the starting point A. Here's another point on the line that is array, that's B. So we would denote this as we're starting at A, we're going towards B. So your starting point here at A, and you're going towards B. So it just has an arrow on one end. Opposite rays. Okay, opposite rays are just that, they are going opposite of each other. So if you have 3 points on a line, and we are going to talk about ray BC, from B going towards C, we would denote that as BC, starting at B and going towards C. Okay, its opposite ray would start at B and go towards A in opposite directions. But it does, in order for them to be opposite rays, they have to have the same starting point. Okay, this says give another name for GH. Okay, well GH, here's G, and we're going to H, and this is a segment because it's denoted with a line over it, so it's a segment. So segment GH would be the same thing as segment HG. That's just another way of saying it. It does not matter where you begin or where you end in a segment. Okay, now with a ray, array, it does matter. Name all the rays with endpoint J, which means we must start with J and go infinitely in one direction or the other. So if we start with J, we could go towards E. So we could have ray J, E. Now remember, you denote a ray with just one arrow at the end. We could start with J and we could go towards G. We could start with J and go towards H. And we could start with J and go towards F. Okay. Each time we must start with the endpoint and go infinitely in one direction. Now it says, which of these are opposite rays? Well, we could go JH is opposite of JG. Okay, so JH, ray JH, is opposite of JG because they are going in opposite directions. We could also say that JE, ray JE, is opposite of ray JF. That's that. Okay. In geometry, there will be a lot of sketching and a lot of drawing. And so I went ahead and I sketched these on here just to show you that my sketches are not very good. I am not very artistic. And so when I ask you to sketch something, I'm not expecting a piece of art, a great artwork. I just want to see that you know what you're doing. Okay, that's why I sketch these, because so that you can see that I'm not going to be extremely particular about what your drawings look like. Okay, in this first sketch here, we have two lines intersecting. And really, I just wanted to show you on this that two lines intersecting, they intersect to form a point. Okay, now when two planes intersect, okay, that's where we are right here. When two planes intersect, they intersect and they form this line right here. Okay, so two lines intersect to form a point and two planes intersect to form a line. Okay, and we can call that line L if we want to. All right, now the last thing that we're going to look at today is a plane. Plane M is being intersected by a line. And so you can almost think about that as holding up a sheet of paper and running your pencil through it. If you run your pencil through your piece of paper and then you take it out, it's going to have a hole in it. That hole is like a point. So when you run a line through a plane, its intersection is going to be a point. Okay. Okay, just like when two lines intersect, it makes a point. When a plane and a line intersect, it makes a point. And when two planes intersect, it makes a line.